Hey, guys, it's me, the Black Sea Polyp. In 2016, a bizarre discovery was made in the Black Sea off the coast of Bulgaria. It was an ancient wooden object that was perfectly preserved deep beneath the water. The artifact was a huge vase-like thing with many holes drilled into it. And because of how well it was preserved, archaeologists were able to tell right away that it was incredibly old. They used a remotely operated underwater vehicle to recover the artifact and bring it back to the surface. This strange discovery turned out to be a type of floating island. These ancient floating islands were used by prehistoric humans thousands of years before Christ. They would take large pieces of wood, hollow them out, and then add all sorts of decorations. Some of them had human faces carved into them. Others had pictures of animals. Some even had entire scenes depicted on the wood. These mysterious floating islands were probably used for religious rituals. It's believed they were created and used by the ancient Thracians. We don't know exactly why, though, but archaeological evidence has shown that the people who lived around the Black Sea had been making these wooden ships as far back as 4000 BC. One theory is that they would use the floating islands as a way to connect with the gods, much like the Greeks and Romans would later use ships to carry offerings out to sea to appease Poseidon or whatever other god they wanted to honor. Number 9. Giant humanoid statue found. A team of Mexican archaeologists recently unearthed the remains of a giant humanoid statue buried deep beneath a temple in the ancient city of El Naranjo. The ruins of this city can be found near the modern-day city of Veracruz. It was once the capital of the Teutonic civilization, but it was also the center of trade between the Mayans and the Aztecs. The statue is about 8 feet tall and is only partially uncovered. Archaeologists have nicknamed it the Colossus of El Naranjo, inspired by the famous Colossus of Rhodes. This giant statue was buried over 13 feet under the remains of a pyramid. It's so big that it took 10 men just to move one of its feet. At this point, nobody knows what the giant statue represents. It may be the god of rain and fertility, as it was found near a temple dedicated to the jaguar. The statue is also interesting because the Teutonic civilization rarely created any sculptures. The Teutonic culture thrived in the 5th century AD. When the Spanish arrived in the 1500s, they completely wiped the civilization off the map. Today, there are less than 200,000 native Teutonic people left in Mexico. Most of them live in Veracruz. Strange burial chamber. Archaeologists working in Israel recently discovered the burial chamber of a woman who died in biblical times. They uncovered her coffin hidden underneath a rock-hewn tomb. Inside the coffin was a skeleton wearing jewelry and surrounded by expensive perfume bottles. The woman's jawbone still had teeth made of pure gold in her mouth. It was definitely a wealthy lady, but she wasn't the only person buried in the tomb. Along with the woman's skeleton, archaeologists found the bones of 2 children. Researchers say this was most likely a mother and her 2 young sons. But they didn't die at the same time. The oldest child was between 8 and 10 years old when he died. He was laid to rest next to his mother. Sometime later, one of the boys died. It's not clear if he was younger than the other son, but he was small for his age. It seemed he suffered from bone disease, making him even smaller than he should have been. 7. Ancient Egyptian tomb discovered. A huge tomb from ancient Egypt was just uncovered near Cairo. Inside the tomb are the remains of a man named Tutu. He was a priest who lived around 4,000 years ago. He held an important position in society as the head of the treasury during the reign of King Tutankhamun. The tomb is one of the biggest to ever be found in Egypt. It contains more than 100 artifacts. There are dozens of sarcophagi and countless statues depicting the royal priest. There are also several mummies, but not nearly as many as archaeologists expected. It seems this tomb was robbed long ago. Still, researchers were able to find some precious items inside the burial chamber, including a golden fly whisk. The golden fly whisk was typically only given to the pharaoh. As a priest, Tutu wasn't supposed to receive such a prestigious gift. He must have gotten it from the king himself. No. 6. The clay tablet. A clay tablet was recently sold at an online auction. The tablet is only 3 inches wide and was originally stamped with writing. Unfortunately, the writing is very faded and difficult to read. It's believed to have originated from the ancient Sumerian Empire, which existed in Mesopotamia. The tablet was being sold by an anonymous British collector. It had come from another collection, which was never properly catalogued. The tablet has been dated back to 2600 BC. That makes it older than the Bible and the Egyptian pyramids. According to Live Science, the tablet might contain a record of a slave sale. The faded writing reads, Lamashtu, you shall bear Nasaba's punishment. No one is exactly sure what this means, but researchers say Lamashtu was a demon in Sumerian mythology. She was a monster who ate children and caused women to miscarry. Scholars believe this clay tablet was a curse put upon a woman who had killed a child, but nobody is 100% certain. 5. Mysterious ancient city. Archaeologists in Turkey recently discovered a mysterious ancient city. It's called Gungur and it's almost completely intact. The city was built in the 7th century BC by the Kingdom of Urartu. It was abandoned sometime after the kingdom fell in the 6th century BC. Researchers say the city was home to at least 1,000 people. It was built on a hilltop overlooking the surrounding countryside. It had houses, temples, and a fortress, but no one knows why the residents abandoned it. What makes this discovery so interesting is the condition of the city. Almost every structure is still standing, complete with walls and roofs. Some of the buildings have even survived with their colorful paintings on the walls. Archaeologists are hoping to uncover more about the mysterious city in the coming months. In particular, they want to figure out why the city was abandoned and what happened to its people. Number 4. Dinosaur bone with skin still attached. A rare dinosaur bone with skin still attached to it was recently found in Utah. It's a piece of a thigh bone from a kind of carnivorous dinosaur known as a theropod. Scientists believe the bone belonged to a dino called the Acrocanthosaurus. It lived about 130 million years ago. This is the first time a bone from this particular species of dinosaur has been found with skin still attached. What's even more incredible is that the fossilized skin still has scales. These scales have preserved naturally, looking just like the scales on a crocodile or an alligator. Acrocanthosaurus are one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs that ever lived. They could grow up to 45 feet long and weigh more than 13,000 pounds. They lived during the late Jurassic period. Scientists believe they hunted sauropods, which were some of the largest plant-eating dinosaurs. Number 3. Clay figurine of the goddess Nyama. A group of Israeli archaeologists recently unearthed a figurine of a mysterious ancient goddess. The statue was found near the Judean desert. It dates back about 3,000 years. It's the first figurine ever discovered that depicts a Canaanite deity. Researchers believe the statue is of the goddess Nyama, who was considered a mother goddess. She was worshipped as the wife of El, the supreme god of the Canaanites. The Canaanites were one of the earliest known civilizations in history. They lived in modern-day Syria, Lebanon, and Israel. Unfortunately, the figurine was found in very poor condition. It's broken into 3 pieces and most of the details have been worn away. It's just barely possible to make out the female figure, which is holding to small objects in her arms. Number 2. Mammoth bones in Siberia. Russian scientists recently discovered an ancient burial ground containing hundreds of mammoth bones. All told, there are at least 300 skeletons of woolly mammoths. The discovery was made near the banks of the river Kolyma in northeastern Siberia. This is just the second time a mass mammoth graveyard has been found. The first one was in 1998 when scientists found 150 skeletons in northern Siberia. Number 1. Mysterious gold coin. An amateur archaeologist in Israel recently discovered a mysterious 24-karat gold coin. It's believed to date back at least 1,500 years. The coin was found buried near a road. It was only half exposed, sticking out of the dirt like an ancient treasure. The coin was crafted during the reign of Emperor Zeno. He ruled the Eastern Roman Empire from 474 to 491 AD, but nobody knows where it came from or who buried it. Thanks for watching. Which of these ancient discoveries did you like the most? Let me know in the comments below. See you next time. Bye.